Hi, and welcome back. Today we're going to take a quick look at how to run an ad on social media. Let's talk about Facebook specifically just for a second. One of the things that Facebook is specifically looking for is they're looking for people that are adding valuable content, things that people are going to interact with. That's what that platform was created for. People go there to unwind, they look to see what their family and friends are up to, and it's supposed to be for a social engagement, okay? What a lot of us are using Facebook for business is to treat it like a scrolling billboard. We just throw up an ad and we expect a lot of people to come and run to us and take a specific action. Well, that's not what happens. They're not going on Google searching for you for a particular thing. You're basically interrupting them in the middle of this social type of environment. Okay, so will it work? Yeah, it'll work sometimes, but it's not going to work if you're trying to build a big following, if you're trying to create a mass movement, if you're trying to build a seven-figure business. That approach just simply isn't going to work. Literally, that type of approach is what most of us do when we just don't know what we're doing, and we just kind of default to that because we're just kind of frustrated, so we just put something up there. All right. Now, I want to give you an example of an ad that works very differently. But first, let me start with an ad that doesn't work so well. Okay, and I've run ads like this before, where you've got a product or service that you're trying to sell, and you basically say what that product or service is. And then you say, click here, and then the person will click there. Maybe they might click there, and they check out your ad offer. And if they don't immediately see a benefit to it, then they just click away from it, and then they just keep going. Okay, and then you wonder why you're not getting the result that you want. Well, there's a reason. People if you're trying to build a business and you want to create a mass movement, you want a lot of people to interact with you, you have to be a great storyteller. I mean, that's just the bottom line. People love a great story, and they want to follow a journey, right? They want to follow a storyline. That's why everybody loves seeing movies, right? There's a specific way that movies are set up, and it's actually called the hero's journey. So if you think about a famous movie like Rocky, for example, right? Here's this attractive character, and he goes through the struggle, and you follow him through his journey, and at the end, he's triumphant, and everybody cheers for Rocky. Okay, so that's what it takes to create this following. Right now, all these years later, I believe I'm not 100% sure, but I believe the first Rocky came out in the 70s, maybe 1976, I don't quite remember. And to this day, right, they just came out with a Creed 2 movie. It's the same exact storyline, but everybody follows that storyline. They all love it. So instead, what we need to do is we need to be actively involved in our businesses, but we have to be active storytellers. That's really what the magic is in order to create a mass movement and to get the number of people that we need following us. So here's an example. This is the ad that I currently have going, and my ultimate goal is this. Okay, my ultimate goal is to get or build a culture or build a tribe of people that are using the unfair advantage that I have to offer them as a speaker through ClickFunnels. Okay, that's really what I want them to be able to do. Why do I want them to be able to do that? I want them to be able to do that because I've owned a business. I've been self-employed for 20 years. I've owned a business. I know how hard it is, and I know that what I have to share with people, the people that are part of my culture, will dramatically speed up the process in which they can see the success. I know what their frustrations are. I've gone through the same exact struggles, and I went out looking for that one thing that was going to change the game, that would change everything, and I finally found it. So that's why I'm so motivated about it. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to get this point across that, hey, if you've got a business and you've been struggling and you've been going through all of these challenges, I've been there, right? I've been in your shoes. And what I found is there's a better way. There's a new way. There's a better way. Let me share this with you, okay? So this is really what my message is that I'm trying to get out into the world. So what I decided to do is I decided to create a storyline. Well, it just so happens that it's just a really good time for me to share the storyline because my son Billy is a senior in high school. He's going to be following in my footsteps, and he's got about 5 months until he graduates. Well, here's the hero's journey, right? Just like the Rocky movie, I'm going to be sharing where he's starting from, and you're going to get to follow his journey along the way, and you're going to see that he basically is starting with nothing, right? Except for he's going to have an unfair advantage, me, right? I'm going to be able to share with him all of the mistakes that I made along the way to be able to teach him. Doesn't that sound like the Rocky movie, right? Doesn't Rocky do the same thing with his son, right? So this is what it's all about. So just listen to my ad for a second, and let's look at an ad that's not good first. So let's say that let's say I run an ad that says, "Hey, build a 7-figure business online. Click here for my course," right? And they click here to my course, and it gives them a starter special type of a price. All right, so far, I've got no storyline. I've got nothing, right? I really don't have anything. Now, somebody will take advantage of it. Somebody will act on it, and that's great. But generally speaking, when I run an ad like something like that on Facebook, the relevance score, right? They have a relevance score from like 1 to 10. The relevance score for something like that usually ends up being about a 4. Right? So that tells you that it's not really engaging enough. It's not really interesting enough to be used here as an effective ad. Now, the ad that I'm running now is very different. It starts out, right? And guys, here's just a quick tip. When you're running ads, start using some emojis in there because people just pay attention to those. I don't really love using emojis, or I didn't like using them when I first started. I thought it was kind of goofy, but it actually works. So insert some emojis that are emotions, depending on what it is that you're saying when you set it up. But basically, here is the ad that I'm running now. Now, just follow this along. The ad says, "Giving my son an unfair advantage. My son Billy is a senior in high school. His guidance counselor is all over him about sending in college applications so he can get a good job," right? I can't quite figure out how college gives anyone the edge these days, unless the student needs a specific degree to pursue a career that they're passionate about. Other than that, all I see is a counselor who doesn't know what she doesn't know, advising my child to go into debt with no feasible way to recoup the investment. It would cost Billy $200,000 to go to the same school that I attended. That would buy him a BS degree, Bachelor of Science degree, which at best would give him a starting salary of $60,000. Shouldn't his high school math teacher be able to figure out that the math just doesn't add up? Luckily for my son, I understood very early on that a formal education may get you a job, but self-education gives you the opportunity to create the lifestyle you want, need, and deserve. Okay, now I've got 4 images in the ad, and it says, "I love these pictures of Billy. His smile is infectious. He's smiling because he has an unfair advantage. His dad is part of the ClickFunnels speaking team and has the insider secrets on how to create a 7-figure business online, geeking out on something that motivates you to jump out of bed every morning with a smile on your face and a fire in your belly. Would you like the same unfair advantage that Billy's getting from his old man? Would you like to get the same insider secrets that I'm sharing with my son? If so, I'm going to be holding an online training session where you can tune in to see me sharing the cheat codes with Billy to help him create his own 7-figure success story fresh out of high school." Okay? So that is very, very different. And the results are very, very different. So right now, that particular post has a relevance score. Okay? It has a relevance score of 10. Right? Not 4 like the other one, 10. And it's getting likes and shares. So Facebook is identifying that as a good post, right? Something that people are interested in, which means that they show it more organically. Okay, so that's really what we're looking for. And then the icing on the cake to that is as people like and share, this again helps you grow your culture, because if people are liking and sharing, they're basically giving you their approval. So this gives you an opportunity to reach back out to them and say, "Hey, thank you for liking my post," right? If you'd like to learn more, here's the link, right? Or be sure to stay tuned, because I'm going to continue Billy's story or Billy's journey. And now what happens is people are starting to follow you. They want to see what happens next. And that's really the magic behind creating a good post that's going to help you create a mass movement.